everyone, I'm Julie.
And I am Bobby.
And we're Fancy Friday Soaps.
No, we are not. She's Fancy Friday Soaps. I am the technical advisor.
He helps. Well, today we're going to show you how we make one of our best sellers, black tie soap.
And I'm going to do my best to distract that process.
Right here, I'm adding the lye water solution into my melted oils.
Okay, why does it look like pee?
Because it has olive oil in it.
Ooh,
And
yummy.
olive oil's yellow.
Yelly. Oh,
Not
yelly. Coming back yelly.
So I'm just using my immersion blender to bring this to emulsion.
Your fancy words.
Emulsion's just blending up a water and an oil together. You have to have an agent that binds the two together. And through the magic of video,
man. Magically, it's pancake batter.
we cut out a lot of the blending for you. But all I was doing was blending. It's still really liquidy, though.
It seriously looks like pancake batter, and I'm hungry. We should
Yeah.
not do this
Sorry.
before dinner.
So I'm just going to split the batter off into two separate bowls because black tie soap is two different colors, black and white.
I didn't say a thing.
I'm going to scrape out the bowl and make sure it's nice and clean. You never want to waste it.
Seriously, why does it look like food? I want to lick that.
Yeah, don't lick it.
How many times in our marriage you had to tell me not, like, stop, don't lick that, you'll die. Why can't I eat that? It's because it's the lye, right?
Yeah, so the lye that's in soap is caustic, but once it goes through the saponification process, then it is no longer...
Caustic and saponification.
Hey, you're usually the one throwing out the $1 million words.
So saponification is the verb form of turning into soap?
Yeah.
Fun. Okay, so you're putting, what is that?
So this is titanium dioxide. I'm adding, that's what's going to make this bowl of batter, it's going to make it white.
So if I drank that thinking it was pancake batter, I'd die?
You might not die, but you might burn a hole in your...
In my what?
Throat.
Okay. I'm getting really worried. Good grief.
So this is the fragrance oil. So
What does it smell like?
Black tie soap is really masculine and smells like a really good, just a nice smelling men's cologne.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use the immersion blender again to bring this up to a really thick trace. So the design that I do in black tie soap, it needs my batter to be really thick because you're going to see in a little bit that I kind of plop the soap together. So
That is not a fancy word. Plop.
Definitely not.
So trace is
So trace, you're going to see it in just a minute. It's when the immersion blender,
hit my hand.
it's when I can trace lines on top of the soap. So you're going to see in just a second when I pull the blender out that I can actually leave lines, like I could trace my name in the top of the soap and you would still be able to see it. So I'm bringing it up to a pretty thick trace. A lot of times if you want to do like swirly designs, you don't want it to be thick, you want it to be really thin. So, but this one, it takes lots of blending. And sorry, the camera's not fantastic. But see how you can still see the soap on top.
You'll notice that when she smacks the blender on the side of the bowl, the whole camera shakes because our camera rig is a Walmart like folding two-step step stool, like a part of a bed slat, and a phone duct taped all together. So it's like this boom camera that gives you this awesome overhead angle. So
you're not supposed to give away all our secrets.
I'm not giving away all of our secrets. I didn't say what color the footstool was. Was.
Right. So now I'm just moving on to the next color, which is going to be black. Sound effects.
It is.
Fantastic.
I'm a man of many talents.
So I'm using activated charcoal to color the black part of the soap. So that's how I make it black.
The stuff they use in fish filters.
Yes, but activated charcoal is really good for your skin. It's really clarifying.
Ooh, that was pretty.
Yeah, it's very, very fine. So
Can we edit that out? Because that was a really wussy thing for me to say.
nope.
Ooh, look at those pretty dust sparkles.
But I'm trapping it under.
There was a poof.
There was a poof.
It poofed. Like, never mind. I was going to make a Taco Bell joke, but that wouldn't have been appropriate.
Yeah.
I apologize.
But it's really fine, and like I said, it's
me.
it's healthy for your skin. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not healthy for your skin.
No.
So this is like those charcoal masks that you see people like posting ridiculous videos of, where they put a charcoal mask on and then they try to rip it off and they scream bloody murder.
Ow.
Have you seen the guy that puts it all over he's got shorts on, but he puts it like all over his face and arms and back and legs, and he says, "I swear I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to scream like all those other people do." And
You totally cried, right?
it's a ridiculous video. I waste way too much time on the interwebs.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to add some more charcoal in several times here that you're going to see, just because I want to really deepen up that color and make it nice and dark. If you just add a little bit, it'll kind of be a gray color, and I really want this to be a kind of a true black. So lots of mixing.
Is there a fake black, like a false black?
I mean, gray is leaning towards black, but isn't truly black yet.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Just a second.
I had to stir up the white there just for a minute to make sure it didn't get too thick.
What
And
is
that's
that?
the fragrance oil going into the black half of...
Same fragrance oil as before.
Same
Right,
fragrance
okay.
oil. Just making sure all parts of the soap smell the same.
Ooh. It's a fun noise.
Yeah. Lots of blending. It's kind of the whole... That's kind of all you do when you make soap.
Yeah.
Lots of blending. Blending and measuring.
Our dog wants in.
Heating things up.
You can hear him barking.
That's a good example of trace right there.
Okay.
When I traced the lines on the soap, they stayed there. Still not quite thick enough. I want it to be kind of ploppy.
Ploppy. That was my nickname in junior high.
Ploppy.
You don't want to know why.
Oh dear. It's terrifying. So we're getting there.
Okay, so why'd you take the top off the blender to do?
Because I was done blending it, so the whole time I'm really turning the blender on and off and doing a mixture of blending it with the blender and just stirring it by hand to make sure I don't get too thick too fast, because soap can go thick really fast, and then they call it soap on a stick because it can turn into soap. And
Too thick, too fast.
yep.
That was me in college.
Oh dear.
Papa John's and
everybody
ponchos.
in college.
Papa John's and ponchos.
So you can see that the white soap is quite a bit thicker than the black soap is, but that's still going to work for my design just fine.
Ooh, here comes the mold. It's kind of got a floppy part there on the side.
Yeah, that's okay. It's still going to work.
Okay, what are the black marks?
I haven't marked every place that I'm going to cut the bars so that when I'm designing, I can kind of keep the bar in mind. So you can look at the whole loaf, but what matters the most is the individual bars after I've cut it. So I just want to make sure, especially when I get to the top, that any kind of, this soap in particular doesn't matter quite so much, but some things I want to make sure that I have the right amount of swirls and all that kind of stuff in the top so that every bar has got what it needs on the very top.
Did you ever think there was any point in your life in which you were worried about whether something has the right amount of swirls?
No. No, I really didn't think that. So, yeah, this design is like a spoon plop that just
a spoonful of saponified lye solution makes them.
Yep. Medicine go down? I feel like it,
you already said it
burns holes in your esophagus.
Yeah, you already said it was going to burn holes in me and then I'd die.
Yep, pretty much.
You were a little too excited when you said that, by the way.
No. Who would provide the
Life
ridiculous
insurance.
commentary?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about
life
for the
insurance.
standard of living that you've become accustomed to.
Right.
Which is like DiGiorno's pizza and
Yeah, speaking of.
Chicken Express in the living room floor.
Does it still look like food?
The black activated
throws you
charcoal,
off.
not so much.
Yeah.
The other one still kind of looks like maybe melted marshmallow fluff.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I was
why
doing-
are you smacking it?
Yeah, so I'm evening.
It sounded terrible. It sounded terrible.
So I'm just
Apologize.
evening out. I'm just evening out the soap in the molds. So I want it all to be. I don't want there to be any air pockets
Okay.
in the soap. So every once in a while, I just have to kind of bang it on the table. And again, the camera's on the table, so
We don't have it suspended from a chandelier or anything like that.
right. So it's gonna shake the camera every time. you have to kind of start working quickly at the end so that the soap doesn't get too thick, because then I won't be able to do anything with it.
Smack, smack. Julie smash.
Yeah. If I'm really angry at you or the kids, it's good to take
Oh,
the
my
aggression
goodness.
out on the soap.
She named this bar of soap Bobby, and she gleefully laughed every time she smacked it. Okay, what are you doing?
And it's just evening out the soap. So the
That
soap
does
is
not
so
look. That does
thick.
not look even.
The soap is so thick that it was hard to even just tap it down on the table. So I'm
is-
just kind of jiggling it to get it into all the corners. It's really technical.
These are funny words.
Yep.
At least you haven't said moist yet.
You just did.
You just did.
Oh my. Whoa. Not really sure why.
Sorry, you're not seeing this because it'll work out in the editing process. But the video's getting real jumpy while we're trying to talk about it. And so, okay, all right. So you're putting dollops on the bowl.
Yeah, so I'm putting plops on the top because I'm getting ready to make the swirl design on the top. And don't worry, I didn't waste any of the soap. The stuff in the bowls went into a mold that I had off to the side to make sample bars. So if you order soap from us, we send sample bars.
Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, now I'm using a toothpick, and this is what makes the swirl design on the top of the soap. So it's really thick, so I have to kind of go through it a couple of times to get the effect that I want.
So you're only going half a toothpick deep?
Right, I am
Which-
not putting it through the thickness of the soap. It just makes the very top.
Which I don't think is an official, like, nautical or maritime measurement.
Yep, I just want the very tippy top to be swirled.
How deep was the water? About 4 toothpicks?
Oh my. Yeah, it's totally a technical measurement. And so that's pretty much it. So now I'm just spraying the top with rubbing alcohol, and that keeps the soap from ashing.
Okay, from what?
Ashing.
Well, I didn't think you said a bad word. Don't.
Pronounce it really clearly.
No, I didn't think.
Oh. It keeps it from
is,
ashing.
What is ash? You've said ashing. Yeah,
Oh,
what
sorry.
is that?
That is when the soap turns white.
Okay.
So
Oh, you did pointy hands
I did
just now.
happy hands.
Okay, so now.
So now I've taken the soap out of the mold. So this is about 24 hours later.
Okay, that looks like a Chick-fil-A cow.
So 24 hours later, I took it out of the mold, and it's still really soft, which is why I'm handling it really carefully.
Okay, so at this point, the lye has processed out enough to where you don't have to use gloves,
Right.
but it still has to process, correct?
Yes, so it's still, I mean, it won't hurt my skin anymore, but it's still really soft. So as it continues, most of the saponification process is finished, but it still needs some time. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for it to completely cure.
That's why whenever you make a soap, it can't be ready immediately. That's why there may be a 3 or 4 or 5 week lag time because it's
Because I mean,
it's
if
curing.
you were to use this in the shower at this point, for one, it would melt away super fast because it's still so soft. So it would only last you, a week instead of 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month in the shower. So. And it would also, it's very possible it could still irritate your skin, because while most of the saponification is done, it's still not completely finished. So it'll completely finish over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, and it'll continue to dry out and make a really hard bar of soap so that it lasts longer in the shower.
Okay.
Or next to your sink or wherever you want to use it. These bars are good in the shower because they smell really good.
Okay. So why are you using like a big butcher knife that like Michael Myers or something uses, and not one of those
I
fancy
don't want to
wire
use
cutter things?
Because I don't have enough money to buy one of those fancy wire cutter things.
Preach.
And this is about it. This is the last 2 bars, and then we're done.
Well, that is it. That's 15 minutes of pure behind-the-scenes magic with Fancy Friday soaps and my wonderful, intelligent, super nerdy wife who decided to do all of these fun things. So
I'm not the nerdy one. You totally are. But thanks for joining us, guys. And if you want some soap, you can totally head on over to Fancy Friday Soaps Black Tie as of right now, which it is March 28th. Black Tie is in stock, and so you should be able to get it there along with some other things. So head on over and check us out. Thanks for watching.
bye.
Subscribe or something if you want to see some in the future.
Oh, that's right. This is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Subscribe.
You should subscribe. As my son would say, why don't you just mash that subscribe button?